What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are here with part 17. Yes, 17 of reacting to your football hot takes. That's surreal, man. I'm at a loss for words. Thank you guys so much for supporting this series to the point that we've done 17 of these videos already. It honestly means so much to me, man. So I honestly, like I always say when we do these videos, I cannot be more thankful, more grateful for you guys because we got over 500 responses to this community tab post, which is absolutely insane. So thank you guys so much for all the support. It honestly means so much to me, and I really never take it for granted. I make these videos about once every 2 weeks, so if you guys never get your hot takes submitted, just look out for my community tab post once every 2 weeks, and you should be able to see it. And then hopefully at some point, if you've never been featured in this series, you will eventually. But yeah, man, enough of the yapping. You guys know this intro already. We've done it 16 times. Let's start reacting to some of your football hot takes, because that's really what we're all here for. The first take we have in today's video: FC Barcelona reign since 2000 was a massive underachievement, and we should have won at least 8 UCLs. I 100% agree with this take. I am so passionate about this, so allow me to yap for a couple minutes here. Because at face value, this take might seem ridiculous, but once I expand, I promise you're going to agree with me if you disagree with me right now. Let's look at it this way, right? So since 2000, it's been 25 years, right? I know we're not quite at 2025 yet, but we will be in a couple weeks, so let's just say it's been 25 years. In these past 25 years, Barca have won 4 UCLs: 06, 2009, 2011, 2015. In case you're not very good at math, that means that in this century, Barca won a UCL 16% of the time. That's not bad. The only other team this century with more UCLs won than Barcelona is, of course, Real Madrid, who have double Barca. They've won 8 this century. But again, Real Madrid is a separate conversation because they're fucking monsters when it comes to that competition. But when you compare it to every other European giant, Barca have won more. They've won more than Bayern. Bayern have only won, but I'm saying, like, compared to Barca, they've won 3, 01, 2013, 2020. Now, they've made more finals than Barca, but still, they've won less UCLs. AC Milan have won 2, 03 and 07. Liverpool have won 2, 05 and 2019. Chelsea have won 2, obviously 2012 and 2021. Juventus haven't won a single one since the turn of the century. Man United have only won 1, obviously, in 08. So when you compare it to the other European giants, Ajax haven't won a single one, haven't even made a final this century. So again, when you compare it to the other giants of the UCL, apart from Madrid, Barca are looking pretty good. But again, when it comes to Barca and Real Madrid, they're always going to be compared to each other because they're just the biggest clubs in the world. So when you look at your rival and they've won 8 and you've only won 4, that's not very good. And it's not even just about the wins, it's about the collapses in the UCL. That really, to me, shows why it was such a massive underachievement. And the squads that Barca had. Because it wasn't like Barca had some bummy squads. We had, I think out of the 5 best teams this century, Barca have like 3 of them. Honestly. 09 is definitely up there, 2011 is definitely up there, and fucking 2015 is up there as well. All those teams are all-time generational teams. And the fact that Barca this century only won 4 UCLs. And again, the exits, man. Roma, Liverpool. I mean, Juventus in 2017. Atletico Madrid coming off that treble winning year. The loss to Chelsea, the loss to Inter. It's just, when I look at it, I haven't been satisfied as a Barca fan. And I lived through all the UCL wins post 06 because I remember I didn't really watch 06. I was still too young. But 09, I remember like it was yesterday. 2011, I remember like it was yesterday. And 2015 as well. And if you'd have told me after 2015 that Barca are not going to win a UCL for the next 10 years, I would have said you're crazy. So again, for me, when I look at it like that, yes, when you've won 4 UCLs, the second most UCLs this century, it's hard to say you've underachieved. But when you look at the squads that Barca have had, I mean, Barca had the greatest player of all time and the greatest coach of all time at the same time. They were with each other, and yes, they won 2 UCLs, but you would think they would have won 3 out of 4 or 4 in a row maybe because that squad was that good. So again, I understand you're not going to win the UCL every single year, but when I look at Barca since 2000, it's just been a lot of disappointment, especially post that 2015 UCL. Those years over there in 06 in the middle where Barca weren't very good. We talked about with Pep in 2010 Inter, in 2012 Chelsea. But yeah, in 2016 Atletico Madrid, like I mentioned already, getting grouped twice in the UCL. So when I look at Barca, yes, they've won 4 UCLs essentially, but when I look at the squads and the time that team has had throughout these past 25 years since the turn of the century, it's hard for me, it's so upsetting that we've only managed to win 4 UCLs, and especially when you look at our rivals, I've managed to win 8. I think it's definitely an underachievement for Barcelona this century when it comes to the biggest competition in European football. Again, in the league, it's been a different story. We've been the best league team, the best team in Spanish football over the past 25 years when it comes to Copa Reyes and league titles. That's really not up for debate to me. Barca have been that dominant in the league and in the Copa Rey domestically, but in the UCL, it's just, we left a lot of meat on the bone so far this century, in my opinion at least. The next tip we have here is Courtois is going to end up top 5 goalkeepers of all time. He is so good. I 100% agree with this take. Thibaut Courtois, to me, is the best goalkeeper of his generation. I don't consider Manuel Neuer his generation because Courtois is a little bit younger. But of his generation, he's the best goalkeeper bar none. I mean, this guy is fucking ridiculous. And, you know, he has the trophy cabinet, if you want to call that, to back it up. But again, forget the trophy cabinet, the eye test, bro. I've never seen a goalkeeper, apart from Manuel Neuer, I've never seen a goalkeeper quite as good as Thibaut Courtois. He is ridiculous. He's actually insane. That guy makes some of the hardest saves look routine because he's so fucking long, bro. I mean, if you look at that guy standing in goal, he takes up almost the whole fucking goal because he's massive, man. And he has this long-ass reach. I mean, he has every physical trait you would want in a goalkeeper. And I think he's so complete when it comes to, you know, his shot stopping, his ability to play from the back is pretty good as well. I think Courtois is one of the best goalkeepers that I've ever seen. I think when it's all said and done, he will be in the top 5. Honestly, you can make an argument he's in the top 5 right now because the guys he's competing with, who we're talking about, you know, Yashin, Casillas, you know, Buffon. Obviously, I mentioned Neuer, who to me is the GOAT. But then you got guys like, you know, who else we're talking about? You know, Handanovic, maybe he's better than Handanovic. I don't even know why I brought Handanovic up. He's better to me than even a guy like Oblak. I think Oblak is great, but I think he's better. Alisson, a guy that he's obviously contending with as best goalkeeper in the world. I think Courtois is a little bit better. So again, for me, I think he's the best right now currently in football, and I think that his consistency over the past couple years has been elite. So I do believe that Thibaut Courtois, if he's not already, once it's all said and done, he will end up as a top 5 goalkeeper of all time because the guy is just that insane. He's just an alien when it comes to his ability to stop the ball from going into the back of the net. Our next take, Cubarsí is the best center back in the world right now, and nobody is close to him. I love Barcelona. I love Pau Cubarsí. And I know I asked for hot takes. This is a little bit too hot of a take. This is insane. Saying that Cubarsí is the best center back in the world right now is crazy enough, but to say that nobody's close to him, that takes it up to another level. And again, I asked for hot takes, so I appreciate them, but this is insane. Pau Cubarsí this season, to me, hasn't even been the best center back on his own team. I think Íñigo Martínez has been a better center back this year than Pau Cubarsí. And that's not to say that Pau Cubarsí has been bad, because they've both been amazing, but I think Íñigo has been better. And when the whole Barça squad is fully healthy, to me, Barca's best center back, I know people hate him for some reason, and he hasn't played in a minute, he's set to come back soon. To me, it's Ronald Araujo. I think he's the best Barca center back when everybody's healthy. I think he's that good. I think Araujo is that talented. So again, even in his own team, I don't believe he's the best center back. When you compare him to world football has so many great center backs right now. He's not better than William Saliba to me. He's not better than Konate. I would take Konate over Cubarsí. I think Konate is just insanely good. He's not better than Virgil van Dijk. He's just not better than Virgil van Dijk. Currently, he's not better than Virgil van Dijk. I am sorry. I love Pau Cubarsí, and I believe that in the next 3 or 4 years, he will be in that conversation for best center back in the world because he is already at such a young age, and he might be the best in 3 or 4 years once all those guys kind of get older. I mean, Saliba's still really young, Konate as well. I'm talking about guys like Van Dijk and that older guard. But to say that he's the best center back in the world right now, nobody's close to him. When you look at what Van Dijk is doing this season, it's not quite 2019 Virgil van Dijk, but man, the guy, he's close because he's been amazing. Konate before his injury was playing amazing. You know, there's so many great center backs right now in world football. So yeah, while I believe that Cubarsí is great, I don't think he has earned the right yet to be called the best center back in the world by a wide margin because like I mentioned earlier, I don't even think he's the best center back on his own team currently. So for that reason, I'm going to have to strongly disagree with this take. But again, I don't want, because anytime you criticize a player of a club you support, everybody calls you a plastic fan and a fake fan. I love Pau Cubarsí, okay? I think he's amazing. But I also got to be objective here and be fair and say, you know what these guys have done this season. Forget their track record of what they've done previously, but what they've done this season, it's just, I can't put him ahead of those guys yet. The next take we have here is Chelsea will win a Premier League title within the next 5 years. 100% agree. That Chelsea squad is so good, man. Like, they're supposed to be rebuilding this year still. Like, they're still supposed to be doing the rebuild with a new coach. And they're sitting 3 or 4 points behind Liverpool in first. I understand Liverpool have a game in hand, but still, bro, that's still really, really good. And that squad, man, Cole Palmer continues to get better. Nicholas Jackson, people trolled him when he first got to Chelsea because he was missing sitters. That guy's a super complete striker and really, really good. I love the way that he plays. I mean, that whole team, when you look at Maresca, the coach, when you look at Enzo Fernandez, who's been playing better, Moises Caicedo has been one of the best midfielders in the world quietly for the past, year now. I mean, I know he had a slow start to life at Chelsea, but he's been really, really good, since the second half of the season, or even a little bit before that, last year. He's been amazing. I mean, every time I watch that guy play, I'm in awe of how good he is, honestly. He's ridiculous. Joao Felix is having a good time as well. Madueke, all these guys, man. I mean, Chelsea have a really, really, really good team. If fucking Reece James could ever stay healthy, Cucurella coming off that Euro is having a great season as well. That team has so much firepower, so much potential. And once these Spurs kind of start growing a little bit more, because we're already seeing it, I mean, they're maturing right before our eyes, and look at the way they're playing. So once that team starts to develop and get a little bit better and better, I mean, when you look at the Prem right now, yes, Man City's so strong. You got to respect them. Man United now with with Emery, you got to respect them obviously because they're so Manchester United. And they got a new coach and they're always going to spend the money. Liverpool obviously are going to win it probably this year. Arsenal are going to continue to strengthen that squad. But I think when you look at Chelsea and what they've had and the way that they've built that squad over the past couple of years, and they finally look like they have the right manager because Pochettino, we know for sure that guy wasn't it. I think that Chelsea is going to be a really dangerous team, and I believe they'll win. I think they're going to be contenders to win. They're contenders. They're contenders to win the Prem this season, right? And I think next year they're going to go in as one of the favorites, and then the year after that, because again their squad, their core is so good, and they finally looks like found the right manager. So I agree with this 100%. This to me is not a hot take. Chelsea will for sure win a Premier League in the next 5 years. And honestly, hot take, I believe Chelsea will reach a UCL final in the next 5 years as well. Bonus take here. I believe Chelsea will reach a UCL final in the next 5 years. I believe that much in that team. The next take we have here is Rodri is the best Ballon d'Or winner in the last 6 to 7 years. We've done 17 parts to this series. This might be the worst fucking take I've ever seen. Honestly, this take is horrendous. You know why? Because Rodri actually has a case to be the worst Ballon d'Or winner in the last 6 to 7 years. Let's look at it. 7 years ago, it was 2017. Who won the Ballon d'Or that year? Well, it was Ronaldo, right? Ronaldo, when he scored that double in Cardiff in the final against Juventus. Ronaldo who scored the hat-trick against Bayern Munich, albeit with offside goals, but still scored the hat-trick. Ronaldo who scored the hat-trick against Atletico Madrid in the UCL semi-final. That Ronaldo. Ronaldo who also won the league that year. So Ronaldo is better, obviously. Then you have 2018 Luka Modric, which to me was a wrongful Ballon d'Or. I think it should have gone to Ronaldo once again. So again, that one is debatable because both of them were kind of, you know, they were not convincing winners. So Modric and Rodri, that to me, like he's in that conversation, right? But then 2019 it was Messi. Messi was the rightful winner. 2020 it was supposed to be Lewandowski, but it wasn't. But if Lewandowski would have won it, obviously it's a better season than Rodri, what he had last year. 2021 it's Karim Benzema, way better season than Rodri. That guy literally fucking carried. He carried Real Madrid basically to that UCL winner. I understand Valverde and Modric and Vini and Courtois and Mendy were all fantastic in that run, but it was really Karim Benzema, okay? It was really Karim Benzema. 2022, it was Messi once again because what he did at the World Cup. And then 2023, of course, it was Rodri. So when I look at that, I think Benzema obviously had a better season. I think Messi 2019 was better. I think Ronaldo 2017 was better. I think Lewandowski obviously didn't win it, but he won it in 2020 was better. I think he's in contention for, you know, was he better than Messi? I think Messi had a better international tournament. That's why he won it. So I think Messi was better in 2022 because I think Messi was better at the World Cup than Rodri was at the Euros because to me, Messi was obviously the best player in the World Cup and Rodri to me wasn't even the best player on his own team at the Euros. So I believe that, you know, Messi had a better one and then he's in that conversation with Luka Modric. You know, both midfielders, both didn't have these insane stats, but both were pivotal to their international teams and domestic success, so that's why they won it. But yeah, to me, I disagree with this take. I think Rodri is, when you're ranking the last 7 Ballon d'Or winners, I think Rodri is closer to 7 than he is to number 1, obviously. Way closer to 7 than he is to number 1. So yeah, this take to me, I understand I'm asking for hot takes, and thank you for that, bro. I'm not trying to pick on you, but this is a crazy take. The next take we have here, Salah has surpassed Rooney's legacy in the Prem. No. I think Mohamed Salah is a better player than Wayne Rooney. I believe Mohamed Salah is just a better football player. I rank him higher all time than Wayne Rooney. But when it comes to legacy, you got to look at it this way. Wayne Rooney spent basically the bulk of his career in the Prem. His prime years were in the Premier League. I mean, this guy was playing for fucking Everton at 16 years old, toying with grown men. Mohamed Salah came to the Prem late. He was a late bloomer. Obviously, he was at Chelsea, but then he left, and then he came back to Liverpool. And well, he didn't come when he was like he didn't get to Liverpool when he was like 30, but he got there older, obviously, than Wayne Rooney is my point. And Wayne Rooney, you know, his legacy in the Prem is he's one of the top goal scorers in Prem history. He might be actually the top goal scorer, I'm not sure, but he's definitely in the top 3 or 4 or 5, whatever. He's one of the top assisters in Prem history. When you look at GA in the history of the Prem, Wayne Rooney's, I'm pretty sure he's at the top of the list, so obviously you have that. The guy won 5 Premier Leagues. Mohamed Salah's only won 1. He probably won the second one this year, but he's only, to this point, he's only won 1. Wayne Rooney was a key part, maybe the biggest piece of that Man United dynasty under Sir Alex Ferguson. So again, I can't say that Wayne Rooney, I can't say that Mohamed Salah, has a better legacy than Wayne Rooney in the Prem. Legacy, no, because legacy comes with trophy cabinet, and Mohamed Salah has a better, and Wayne Rooney has a better trophy cabinet. But again, when it comes to being a football player, who I think is the better player, I believe Mohamed Salah is the better player. Next up, we have Romario, 3rd best Brazilian of all time. I think Romario is extremely underrated. He's a great player, one of the best close control dribblers I've ever seen. I mean, that guy was insane with the ball at his feet. He was so talented. But when I look at Brazilians, I mean, you're talking about probably the greatest nation in the history of football. I believe R9 was better than Romario. I believe Pelé was better than Romario. I believe Neymar was better than Romario. I believe Ronaldinho was better than Romario. You could throw Garrincha in there as well. I think Garrincha, when you look at what he did at the World Cup and his legacy for Brazil and the player that he was, I think he's better than Romario. You can even throw in a guy like Rivaldo. I know they're close and obviously both played in the same era, but you could argue who's better than Romario as well. After that, you have guys like Zico and Socrates who were also great for Brazil. I don't think he's in the top 3. I think you can make an argument he's in the top 5. But yeah, top 3 to me is Pele, R9, and Neymar. And I would say actually I'm going to get flamed for this. I think Neymar is the best Brazilian of all time. I think R9 is second. I think Pele is third. Now, when it comes to legacy and top 10 all time and who's won this, and, we all know Pele in the World Cup and 18 years old, and, he blah, 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 blah. He's so amazing. Scored a hat-trick in the final. He's great, okay? I love Pele, as you can tell. I'm a very big fan of Pele. But you got to give him that respect, of course. But, I don't think Romario, unfortunately, I think he finds his way into the top 3 with those guys. But in the top 5, I think he can sneak his way into that room. But again, I wouldn't say cemented in the top 5 either. Our next take, eye test is more important in football than stats. Yes, but people take this too far sometimes. And they take it too far in either direction. So people only look at the eye test and they don't look at stats at all. And some people, and these people are the worst people, they only look at stats and don't ever watch the games. The beautiful part about football, man, is that it's not a computer. You actually get to watch these guys play. I don't know about you guys. I enjoy watching football. It's the best part of my day when I can sit down and watch either my team, Barcelona, or any fucking team, bro. I love football. I love the sport. I crave it, bro. It's like a fucking drug. I need to watch football when it's the summertime. I crave watching football. But a lot of people aren't like you and I, because I know if you're watching the Regional Ball channel, you love football as well. A lot of people just go on Twitter or go on Transfer Market and look at stats. Oh, how many goals, how many assists? Oh, dribbles completed. Okay, he's a good player. But they don't ever watch the games. And there's other people that only watch the games and don't actually look at the production. Production matters, bro. Because you have people that say that Eden Hazard is better all the time than Ronaldo because he passes the eye test better. Bunch of bullshit. First of all, to me, he does not pass the eye test better. And second of all, stats have to matter, okay? Your production matters, right? But then you have other people who are like, oh yeah, but Jared Mueller or like Thomas Mueller is a better player than Neymar all the time because look at his goals and assists, or look at this and that. That's also a bunch of bullshit. It's a mix of both. Now, I agree. Eye test is more important. You should focus more on what you see on the pitch. But stats also matter because they keep stats for a reason. There's a reason why they keep stats. They're important. And your production at the end of the day matters. How many goals you provide, how many assists you provide. Because ultimately, that is what helps your team win. You could be the best dribbler of all time. But if it doesn't contribute to your team winning, who the fuck cares? If you're not scoring, you're not assisting, who cares? So again, I think that eye test is more important, but I think that people sometimes get carried away in either direction when they're discussing players, when they say that, this guy has this many GAs, so he's better than this guy, when that guy is obviously, like, you know what I'm saying? So people take it too far. Our next take is Messi's 91 goal calendar year is overrated because his goals did not lead to any trophies, just empty stats. I wish people would do more research before commenting a hot take because this is just inaccurate. And you're confused. And people who may not know better would read this and be like, oh, this guy, he's right. He knows what he's talking about. When in reality, he has no fucking idea what he's talking about. So I'm here to actually clear up for you. Because if you're a younger Barca fan and you didn't get to watch Messi's 91 goal calendar year, I'm here to tell you, they did not go trophyless that season. That was the calendar year of 2012. I was alive to watch that season because I watched every fucking Barca season. And in that season, Barca won the Copa del Rey. They beat Athletic Club 3-0 at the Vicente Calderon. Vicente Calderon was Atletico Madrid's old stadium. Barca won that game 3-0. Pedro scored a brace, and Messi scored a goal. Every goal came before the 30th minute because Barca won that game easily. I mean, they just dominated Athletic Club on that day. Like, they always win these Copa del Rey finals apart from 2019, but we don't have to talk about that. But anyway, Messi scored in that game. Now, they didn't win La Liga, they didn't win the UCL, but to say that they went trophyless, it's stupid because they didn't go trophyless. And Messi did score in the final. So again, this is just inaccurate, and I wish that people would actually do some research before commenting hot takes like this, because again, other people may not know better and might actually take this as valid information, which is not. It's misinformation. So I wish that maybe YouTube had a community note, because like X has, where they correct misinformation, because that would have helped a lot. But yeah, not to pick on you, but I'm going to pick on you because this is fucking pathetic. A couple more takes here before we finish off the video. If Messi came back to Barca in January, he would make the starting 11. Yeah, so I think he would, because he's not going to play over Rafinha or Lamine, because Messi's not a winger anymore. Messi just can't. He's not the same guy that he was at 27, 28, where he has that pace out on that wing, and he can do what he did, obviously, back in that trouble-winning year in 2015. Even though Messi was never a pure winger, he played out on that wing. So I don't think, and he's not a better player right now, in my opinion, than either Rafinha or Lamine Yamal. But I do think that Messi, as a 10 in the system, would do well. Now, I think he would start over Dani Olmo. I think Messi's a better player than Dani Olmo. I think Messi could be in a wheelchair. And this is no disrespect to Dani Olmo, by the way, who I believe is a great player. He's been fantastic so far. But I believe Messi's just, he always have more quality than Dani Olmo. Dani Olmo's great, like I said, but Messi's just Messi. And I believe that Messi is a 10 with Lewandowski, the way that he's playing this year, with Lamine Yamal and Rafinha to either side of him. I mean, this guy could thrive. The only thing with Messi and it's something that's been an issue with him his whole career, is that Messi is not really good off the ball when it comes to pressing. When he has to be, he'll do it. But Messi, as we saw in PSG, when he's not really invested, he won't press. And I believe that if he was at Barça again, he'd be invested and he'd want to do it. But again, he's like 36 years old. He's not going to have that same energy off the ball that Dani Olmo has. And we know with Hansi Flick, as we've seen throughout these past 4 or 5 months that the season has been going on, he needs players who play, who do well off the ball and can actually go and press. So that would be the only issue for me with Messi. So I don't think he would start over Lamine or over Rafinha, because I think both of them are better. But I think as a 10 over Olmo, I think he would definitely get it at this point, because I believe that Messi, when he wants to be, is still one of the 10 best players in the world. And we see that every time he plays for either Argentina or for Inter Miami. The guy still has a lot of quality. So again, do I think he'd be a shoo-in for every single match? Probably not, because I think Barca have quality in that position, but I think he'd be the starter for sure over Olmo. And lastly, we have Pep was very underrated at Bayern and didn't fail. I wouldn't say Pep failed, because when you win 3, obviously, Bundesligas and you win multiple DFB Pokals, you can't say that a manager failed, but he definitely underachieved, because at Bayern Munich, the same way it is at PSG, you're not judged by league titles, because those teams win the league just rolling out of bed. I know last year Bayern Munich didn't win the league, it was Bayer Leverkusen, but that's an anomaly. Most of the years, Bayern Munich are going to win that league. And when you bring a manager in like Pep Guardiola, coming off of what he did at Barcelona, you expect him to win the UCL. And when you look at those years where he got knocked out, I mean, 2013, 2014, they got knocked out in embarrassing fashion, I might add, by Real Madrid. That was the game where Ronaldo's doing that thing where he's doing like the 5 goal. You know, he scored he was doing this. He scored the free kick. They got knocked out by Real Madrid. You allowed 4 goals at the Allianz Arena in the return leg. Not very good. 2014, 2015, you got knocked out by Barcelona, your former club. And they got outplayed in that first leg. And then the second leg, Bayern almost came back. But again, they didn't come back. I understand that Bayern was dealing with injuries in that time, but still. You have, like, it's the UCL, it's Bayern Munich, you're always expected to win it. And then 2015, 2016, you got knocked out by Atletico Madrid. Your team was better than theirs. It just was. Not by much, but it was better than theirs. So again, I don't think that Pep was his failure at Bayern, but I think he underachieved 100%, because at Bayern Munich, the same way, like I said, like at PSG, you have to win the UCL. And the fact that he didn't even manage to get to a final is just not great. I mean, it's just not great. If you got to a final, I mean, you could put a little bit of makeup on it, but the fact he didn't get to a final is kind of crazy to me. So yeah, when I look at Pep at Bayern, I'm not going to say he failed completely, but to me, like I've said multiple times, he underachieved for sure, because the standard for Bayern Munich is the UCL, and he was never able to deliver that to the fans and obviously to the club. But yeah, that is my reacting to your football hot takes part 17. I appreciate all of you guys for watching, man. Thank you to everybody who submitted their hot take. It honestly means so much to me. I love every single one of you. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below to every hot take I just talked about, and let me know your thoughts, all that good stuff. And yeah, man, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.